Good morning to everyone. I'm basically a chemist who got into this open university education. After you listen to the experts, I think there is nothing left for me to talk on this ICT. I'm really under great confusion. Says e-learning. To be honest with you, our university has three types of modules. One, we have a face-to-face program, ODL system, open distance learning, rather I call open distributed learning. And then online. We just recently introduced a pilot project, MBA online program. It was so difficult for me. Some experts suggest face-to-face program with a flexi time is better. Some of the experts says your mobile system services, adopting mobile services to the open system is excellent. And if you ask the old teachers, I mean not old teachers, even the present faculty, the best is open distributed learning. And of course, the new generation says online program is excellent. I'm really under pressure. How to go about this under these circumstances? And also, at the same time, Satish warned the open universities to see that the content delivery is important. If you do not deliver the contents properly, you are going to miserably fail. Yes, it is true. Either through a print media or online, whatever. We are finding it difficult in the open university. If it were to be a conventional university, yes, we know the students will be in the classroom, the teachers are available, and so on. But I'm really under, Pathak says there is no openness in the open universities. I do not know how to go about this. I mean, of course, there is a lot difference between the conventional university courses as well as the open university. And I am trying to, learn or implement how to reach the unreached. I mean, it is very difficult to reach the remote places, in this country. That's the intention of the open university. The rate of higher education should reach the unreached. I mean, rural mass. And you have a remote places. I don't know, probably Professor Srivasavan or the experts in the field like Professor Pathak should advise me how to go about this. Let me tell you about my own perception in this context. As you all know, the globalization of distance education provides many opportunities for developing countries for the realization of their education system-wide goals. Now, as I told you, I mean, the education system has undergone phenomenal change. There has been a shift in the focus from conventional mode to distance mode, teacher orientation to learner orientation, and classroom teaching to countrywide classroom, controlled classroom environment to virtual or flexible learning environment. The rapid development of information and communication technologies and the move towards more knowledge-intensive, interdependent, and internationalized societies create new challenges and opportunities for the design and delivery of education. For the student learner, open and distance learning means increased access and flexibility as well as the combination of work and education. For employers, it offers high quality and usually cost-effective professional development in the workplace. Again, for governments, the main potential is to increase the capacity and cost-effectiveness of education and training system to reach target groups with limited access to conventional education. We have a lot of restriction in the Act, statutes, rules and regulations of the Open University. One has to comply with those, statutes, regulations and Act. The potential of open and distance learning in efforts to meet the new and changing demands for education and training. Open and distance learning may be seen as an approach that is at least complementary and under certain circumstances an appropriate substitute for the face-to-face method that still dominate most educational systems. While its benefits can be evaluated by technical, social, and economic criteria, distance learning methods also have their own pedagogical merit, leading to different ways of conceiving knowledge generation and acquisition. To the learner, open and distance, rather distributed, learning means more freedom of access and thereby a wider range of opportunities for learning and qualification. The barriers that may be overcome by distance learning include not only geographical distance, but also other confining circumstances such as personal constraints, cultural and social barriers, and lack of educational infrastructure. The objectives of the open distributed learning in terms of flexibility, one should have open access to education, responding to the student needs, development of self-study material, support the distance learners, cost effectiveness, flexible learning. The vision of the Karnataka State Open University towards student support services to provide access and equity through open, flexible learning, which is relevant to the learners at their doorsteps, which is very important. It is the motive of the Open University to enable universal knowledge resource sharing through innovative pedagogy, better quality assurance and excellence through institutional collaboration and accessibility. The Karnataka State Open University has identified in this country about 45 to 50 institutions, they are as partnership institutions throughout the country. And now I have extended my activities across the country. If one wants to go across the country, one should have this ICT program. These partnership institutions, we inspect, we go there and inspect. If those institutions are really doing good, then we recognize and we monitor the examinations, we give the degree certificates and so on. To ensure institutional determination towards emancipatory learning, to keep pace with the new age of requirement and encourage proactive convergence of media and technology for teaching learning, to innovate, explore and practice new avenues in knowledge management and sharing for positive social intervention, to ensure sustained efforts to interpret and operationalize learners' needs to develop new skills through collaborative and interactive learning. The conclusion, the mass education at all levels will be a permanent requirement to meet the challenge of the knowledge society. To meet this obvious need, it is expected that conventional institutions will adopt to the use of distance learning methods of operation so as to increase both their productivity and capacity. Existing dedicated single-mode ODL institutions will probably continue to grow and new ones will be created. On the other hand, the creation of associations, consortia, and networks among all these kinds of organizations is a reasonable way to create economies of scale, to share resource and development costs with the possible added value of increasing the global quality of the system. As ODL systems proliferate, quality assurance will become a major issue. Taking into account our proposed definition of ODL, it is acceptable to evaluate separately its different features as to their intrinsic quality, learning materials with respect to both their scientific content and pedagogic strategies, student support mechanism, communications, organization, and logistics. All are features to measure the price. Thank you very much.